What's good, YouTube? It's Quintessential Q, and today I'm coming at you with a Mountain Felon Giant Blade build for the Karakuri staff. Now, before we get into it, I'm gonna be a bit controversial. If you're using Mountain Felon Giant Blade build with the 70% Mountain Felon Giant Blade, you're building Karakuri staff wrong. Now, before you get the pitchforks and torches and be like, how dare you say that I'm building this wrong? How dare you say clearly you don't play Karakuri staff? You don't know what you're talking about. You clearly don't know how to build the weapon. You clearly don't know how to use the weapon because that's the strongest build in the game. Well, yes and no, kind of. So, let me demonstrate, right? We're doing the normal things. I'm just kind of building this like a little bit sloppy. Would be cleaner in the normal hunt, but we're just doing this for demonstration purposes. Now, full gauge, right? Bam, boom, last hit, bam. Now, before you click off the video, y'all saw that the damage log said 9380, and I know a whole bunch of people about to be in the comments. See, clearly you don't know what you're talking about because that build can hit over damage cap and your build can't even hit over damage cap. Well, the bear is kind of trolling you in this instance. So when you're in the training area, when you're training against the bear, there's a couple of things that can't happen to the bear. One, you cannot break parts on the bear. And two, you can never crit the bear, whether you have natural crit or not. Now, why do I bring up these 2 points? Well, that is because due to those two limitations, we don't have access to one of the strongest skills on our build and quite possibly one of the strongest skills in the game. And that is one stroke critical, which we currently have at 100%. So, earlier you saw me hit on the damage log for 9380. What does that mean for our damage if we were to get one stroke critical to proc only before the last hit? Not even for the entire Judgment Blade or Juggernaut Blade combo. Only for the very last hit. Well, in this game, critical hit damage is a multiplier of 50%. So you would take the 9380 number that we hit earlier, multiply it by 1.5, and you will get a number of 14,070. Now, how does that stack up to the current like Juggernaut Blade builds going on around now? That means their last hit roughly hits for 10,000, and their entire combo usually hits for roughly 16,000. About 16,000 and some change. If we were to only crit with the very last hit, and the first 2 hits were not crit, we would have hit a combo of 19,305 on the bear. Obviously, these numbers are super inflated because the bear doesn't take the bear on top of not taking crits and not being able to break parts also has like no defenses, so it takes absurd amounts of damage that you would not see in a normal hunt. But don't take my word for it. Here are some clips to show you how this build works in action versus high rank and volatile monsters. Now, if you was really observant in those clips, there was something off. If you go back and peep my health, and peep my like buffs and stuff, I didn't eat. Like you can tell by my health bar alone, I didn't eat for any of those hunts. All the skills and buffs that you see are just naturally on the build, either through talismans or through my armors. So let's get into the build. Starting with the weapon, we are using the Yafune Kukunoichi, which is an in-game monster, is the weapon from the final boss in the game. This is an in-game build. We're using in-game monsters. Duh. So, how do we get here? We start off from the top, of course, head down to the left, swing around. Technically, this top half really doesn't matter. Looking back on it, you can literally just kind of like either go through here. It's actually kind of the quickest way to get through here because you only have to go through like 4 nodes. So at the end of the day, it's probably best to go swing around. But our first important node that we 100% need is right here. 1 stroke critical, 30%. We snag that up, carry it with us for the rest of the build. The next important node doesn't come to basically the end where we get Mountain Fell and Giant Blade. The first one for 15%. We pick that up, we get the Verve at the very next node, and we get Mountain Fell and Giant Blade for the very next node after that. And then we carry those 4 skills from those 4 nodes all the way to the end. And the final product in which we have is Full Force Blow, 25% and 1 stroke critical at 40%. That just comes with the weapon naturally. Full Force Blow at 6%. Again, that comes with the weapon naturally. Our 2 Mountain Fell and Giant Blades at 15% each, giving us 30%. Verve at 10%, and a 1 stroke critical at 30%. Now, what does Full Force Blow do? What it do? Boost the power of full body attacks. Now, a couple of y'all are probably like, well, what's a full body attack? A full body attack is any attack that would reduce or use your weapon gauge. Now, what move do we use all the time that reduces our weapon gauge? Let me think. Wait a minute. Juggernaut Blade. The bread and butter of the Karakuri staff literally falls under Full Force Blow. So, essentially, with this and the Mountain Felling Giant Blade combined, we essentially have 60% Mountain Felling Giant Blade. It would be roughly the equivalent. Verve, 10%. This is pretty standard. Nothing new here. 1 stroke critical on the weapon alone is already at 70%. So where's our other 30% coming from in order to reach 100%? Well, that's where the armors come into play. We are currently using the Dragonic Headwear that gives us 1 stroke critical of 30%. It's probably a little bit better if I just go to change equipment to show that off. So 1 stroke critical at 30%. We don't care about the inversion attack. We don't care about the deaf ears because we're in human path. This is a human path build. So continuing on. We are using the Fuma Clan Uagawi, which is Lavaback's chest. I just have it spec'd into Kimono Path because I like the look of it, and it doesn't mess with my build to have this in Kimono Path. You can wear Human Path, you can wear the regular one, whatever suits you the best, because with everything else, you're still going to be in pure Human Path no matter what. We're using the Janus Tekko, which is, again, spec for Human Path. There's not really too many good gauntlet options, unfortunately. This is kind of the best one. Just gives us 3 Savage. Nothing to really write home about. Continuing on. The legs, kind of in the same boat. There's not really too many good legs for us to use. This does increase our damage because our Karakuri staff is slash damage. So we use them. Slash bolster 3%. Slap it on, continue moving. Another critical and a really good piece is the Golden Tempest legs. It gives us another 3 points into Savage. Gives us follow through, which we don't really care for. And Verve at another 3%. So we have 6% Verve just from our armor, and we have another 10% Verve from our weapon. Now, talismans, due to basically you having every skill you need from the weapon and the armor, you really don't need anything else. Like you honestly don't need anything else. Like weapon and armor are all the skills you need. So when it comes to the talismans, you can put utility skills here, you can put more damage skills here. This is what I'm currently rocking with. Let's sort it by equipped. So currently we are using the elemental talisman. It gives us flame wielder and fleet foot, which just gives us damage when after we do a slide dodge. Nothing to write home about. We mainly have this for the flame wielder for the small percent chance that we do get a knockdown due to them being set on fire. We have a combined arts talisman, which this is the only skill that comes on this talisman. 3% does boost the power of our Y attacks. And what's a Y attack? Juggernaut blade, of course. So we get an extra little smidgen of damage. Again, nothing to write home about. It's just there. This gives us another 2 points in Savage. We're at 8 points of Savage overall. Cool. This gives us another 2% in Verve. So if we were at 16%, now we're at 18%. And this one, just because I don't really have any other good talismans, is Sleight of Hand Fury at 6%. Gives us a slight damage boost after we summon a Karakuri. Doesn't matter if it's a fusion Karakuri or a basic one, you'll get 6% increased damage for a short while. So that is the build. Like I said, if you're using the 70% damage build, you're kind of building, you're kind of not optimal, my boy. And I know some of y'all in the comments were like, well, what if you don't break apart? There is no way in this build you are not breaking parts. Karakuri staff is incredibly good at breaking parts, especially by the second hit of the Juggernaut Blade combo. By the time you hit someone with the second hit of Juggernaut Blade, something's broken. Something is usually broken, 9 times out of 10. And we even did the damage calcs just in case. Let's say you only crit every other Juggernaut Blade. That means for one entire Juggernaut Blade, you just didn't hit a crit at all. And we did this for 4 Juggernaut Blades because most monsters don't live past 4 unless like you're volatile. That means on average, because we use the bear for testing, the average combo for the current Giant Fell build would hit for 66,832. Our build, if we only crit every other hit, every other last hit at that, would be 67,840. So we're still beating out that build by 1,000, like what? 1,000 damage? I'm just telling you, the crit is the way to go. Crit is king in this build. One stroke critical is an incredibly good skill. This is a very strong skill. If you can get this very high, you take it. 100% you can take it. Personally, I'll say if you can get this even above like 70 to 80%, take it. Because another thing is, if you can get this to 70%, really, if you can get it to like 60 or 50%, even if you can get it to 50%, you can just get the other like percentage from your talismans. Most of the one-stroke critical talismans, I haven't seen one less than 12%. So let's say you are at 50% one-stroke critical from your weapon. You slot in like 4 or 5 of these, boom, you're at 100%. If you're at 70%, maybe you can get away with 2, maybe you get away with 3, boom, you're at it. So like, again, like one-stroke critical, insanely good. It actually comes in handy in another weapon build that I'm going to showcase later on in the week. You know, if y'all peeped what weapons I had available, maybe you know which one it is, maybe you know which one it isn't. But we're going to push these builds to as far heights as we can. If you want to see more monster I was about to say Monster Hunter. Lord have mercy. Wild Hearts content. Please stick to the channel. Uh, I'm Quintessential Q. Please catch the streams as well. We do stream over on Twitch, twitch.tv/quintessentialq. It will be in the description below. I do hunts over there. I'm theory crafting things. We're making powerful builds. We're hunting. We're doing all the things over there. So stop by over there if you want to get some hunts in, or if you just want to, pick my brain for like my thought process when I come up with making builds. I love to talk about theory crafting and building like that. So come over there. It's a good time over there. It's a good time over there. But I'll catch you on the next one, which would probably be the next build video, or maybe like a basic Karakuri build setup. I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.